childish. Angela Rayner slammed after PMQ clashed with Boris over refurbishment of number 10 flat. Angela Rayner would not be a convincing Labour leader as she won't be taken seriously by the crucial strands of the electorate, claimed politics expert Geoffrey Evans. On Wednesday, Boris Johnson and Deputy Labour leader Ms Rayner clashed at Prime Minister's questions in the absence of Sir Keir Starmer, who had tested positive for COVID. Ms Rayner repeated Labour's call for the 5% VAT rate on energy bills to be suspended, arguing that it would help low-income families cope with the soaring cost of living. She demanded serious solutions from the Prime Minister and said working families were picking up the tab for Mr Johnson's incompetent leadership. Mr Johnson rejected this, however, insisting that the government was providing a number of schemes to address the issue. He then accused staunch Remainer Ms Rayner of barefaced cheek in calling for VAT rates on energy bills to be slashed, insisting that such a course of action would have been impossible inside the EU. Ms Rayner is one of the most recognisable members of the Labour Party, having been deputy leader of the opposition for nearly 2 years. However, Mr Evans, who is a Sociology of Politics professor at the University of Oxford, claimed that she would not be an effective Labour leader as Ms Rayner won't be taken seriously by wavering Tory voters. The political scientist said, "There isn't anybody in the Labour Party currently who could replace Starmer convincingly. Rayner is entertaining and sincere, but she is not going to be taken seriously as a grown-up politician to steal a lot of waverers." And you've also got to keep in mind that although we've seen the Tories drop behind Labour in the polls, there's a lot of people who are saying they don't know. Most of those people who are saying they don't know are Tory voters. It's not like they've left the Tories and gone to somebody else. They've not swung to anyone else, and what we know is it's more than likely when it comes down to more serious stuff like elections and things, they'll swing back with the party again. Rayner pointed out some of the more obvious dangers of hospitals being overwhelmed, operations cancelled and people with heart attacks expected to take a bus to A&E, but it was the SNP's Ian Blackford who got to the heart of the matter. Riding out the pandemic had consequences. More people would die. Which probably wouldn't affect Boris or many Tory MPs that much, but would certainly be one hell of a bummer for those who died. And for their friends and families. So maybe now was the time for a bit more caution. A bit of humility. A new poll published on Sunday last week suggested that Sir Keir had won back red wall voters. The Delta poll survey found that of the 57 constituencies gained by the Tory party in 2019, 38% of voters agreed the Labour leader would make the best Prime Minister. Mr Johnson was supported by only 33% of those surveyed. Meanwhile, the poll also projected that Labour were 5 points ahead of the Conservative Party nationally, and if the results were repeated in a general election it would cost the Tories more than 100 seats. The Tory party's popularity has plummeted after a terrible December in which they repeatedly faced allegations that they had broken coronavirus rules a year earlier by holding a Christmas party the year before. However, Mr Evans believes that Mr Johnson, who has also faced scrutiny from many within his party over his response to the spread of Omicron, is likely to survive the recent tumultuous period. Mr Evans said, "Boris, a bit like Tony Blair, has been seen as a massive asset in elections. I can't predict with certainty that he'll maintain this degree of being an asset, but he's the sort of character who can. He's treading the centre ground as judiciously as somebody could possibly do, I would say. He's not conducting himself badly. He's really trying to play down the centre of his party, on the one side hardcore lockdowners, on the other, hardcore anti-lockdowners. He's struggling in the middle. If he gets through this, I could quite easily see him being buoyant again."